What's up, guys? This is going to be a Monday Night Raw summary and analysis for the July 1st episode. July 1st episode. Had a second guess there. I was still in that June mindset. Anyways, guys, this is a new thing I'm going to be doing on this channel here. I do think my weekly series, The Wrestling's Bullshit Report, gives you everything you need to know. But I do know that there are a lot of fans out there who like to keep up with Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, maybe even AEW Dynamite, dare I say, on a weekly basis. Sometimes they miss it and maybe they want to go to one of their favorite wrestling YouTubers to kind of catch up, understand what happened on the show without actually watching the show. I know because I have done this multiple times and it has um introduced me to a lot of different YouTubers that cover shows like TNA, that cover shows like the National Wrestling Alliance. Nonetheless, guys, what I'm starting with here is summaries and analyses of Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and AEW Dynamite on Wednesdays. So we're going to start with three shows. We're still doing the Wrestling's Bullshit Report. But yeah, I'm going to summarize and analyze everything of significance that happened on the July 1st episode of Monday Night Raw. So let's get started here. We started off with main event Jey Uso. It was a crazy open to Monday Night Raw as the camera is just going in on this sea of fans that are cheering Rowdy, and finally who comes into frame is main event Jey Uso as he comes to the ring from the crowd. Very cool stuff. I can't believe how over main event Jey Uso is, but he's here to cut a promo to open up Monday Night Raw to welcome us into the episode. And ultimately, he is just simply talking about how he plans to win Money in the Bank this upcoming Saturday. And he's interrupted shortly by Chad Gable, who is another strong contender, in my opinion, for someone who can actually win that briefcase. I think Jey Uso and Chad Gable are the two front runners, if you will, of who can win this Money in the Bank ladder match for the men. I think Drew McIntyre is another name you could throw in the pot, but I think CM Punk will ultimately screw him over if he even gets close to winning. So, nonetheless, man, we get this little promo back and forth between Jey Uso and Chad Gable, and then the lights go out. As you know, the Wyatt Six, this newly formed faction, rest in peace, Bray Wyatt, has been haunting Chad Gable. And they do so here. But mainly what they do is what they did last week, as they hand a box over to Michael Cole with a tape in it. And of course, just like last week, Michael Cole gets this tape to the production team. And later in the episode of Raw, the production team airs what the tape has on Monday Night Raw. And what the tape has is very similar to last week, as it has Bo Dallas being interviewed by Uncle Howdy. And it's kind of giving us backstory. It's fleshing out his character motifs, his motives, as Bo Dallas is coming into Monday Night Raw in a way that he never has before, in a way that honors the late, great Bray Wyatt, which is his brother. So we basically flesh out the perspective and learn more about why this Wyatt Six faction is here and why Bo Dallas has created this family that will now terrorize and haunt Monday Night Raw. I should have just said haunt. I really don't want to say that word. I hope that the YouTube algorithm doesn't punish my video because I said that word that starts with a T. So, anyway, it's all good fun. I'm talking about a wrestling show here, scripted, fun television that's mainly for kids, but adults enjoy it too. Anyway, this leads to a segment later in Monday Night Raw where Chad Chad Gable is actually seen reaching out to Otis as he ultimately asks for forgiveness. He says, "I'm sorry. I know what I did was wrong, but the Wyatt Six are after me and I could really use your help." Chad Gable even goes as far as to tell Otis, "If it was you being haunted by the Wyatt Six, I would help you." So it looks like we're going to get more of Chad Gable and Otis telling a story. It took so long for Otis to muster up the courage to walk away from Chad Gable, as Chad Gable was being a toxic tag team partner, a toxic trainer, and a toxic leader with his faction. just weeks ago. And now he's already back talking to Otis backstage saying, "You must hate me, but he's ultimately just terrified because the Wyatt Six is on him. And he's really trying to get Otis back on his side. So I wouldn't be surprised if sooner rather than later we actually get Otis teaming up with Chad Gable again out of sympathy. Because, we got Otis. He's a nice guy. He understands Chad Gable's going through a hard time since the Otis, Akira Tozawa, and Maxine Dupree left his ass. So I could definitely see Otis coming back into play here. And it's just another story that will be interesting to see flesh out week over week. Let's move on. The first match of the night, guys, is Karrion Kross versus Xavier Woods. And surprisingly enough, guys, Xavier Woods is able to get a roll-up pin on Karrion Kross. I was totally expecting Karrion Kross to get the dub here, but it seems like this little rivalry between New Day as well as the Final Testament will continue as Xavier Woods gets a nice roll-up win here against a strong Karrion Kross. Um, I've been enjoying this rivalry, guys. It's nothing like I just think Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, um, Karrion Kross, and the Authors of Pain are all fantastic wrestlers. So simply putting them in a rivalry against each other, nothing too fancy, nothing too special for Monday Night Raw. It's really good stuff here, guys. Like I said, it's not to the moon or anything, but I've been enjoying it. Just letting guys go out there and do what they do best. Just have good wrestling matches. Who would have thought that that actually works? Anyway, guys, our next match of Monday Night Raw was Liv Morgan retaining the the Women's World Championship against Zelina Vega with the help of Dominic Mysterio. It's hilarious, man. We'll get to this. Um, we got Dominic Mysterio running out every time Liv Morgan has a match on Raw, trying to make Liv Morgan lose the title, and somehow every single time he messes it up and Liv Morgan ends up retaining. That's what happened here, and we'll get into the irony of how that played into a later match on this episode of Raw. We also can staying with the Judgment Day had Damian Priest and Finn Balor show slight signs of hostility towards each other as first Liv Morgan was in backstage in the Judgment Day's clubhouse. As you can see, Finn Balor and JD McDonough have kind of warmed up to Liv Morgan because Liv Morgan ultimately helped those guys win the World Tag Team titles last week. So there's Liv Morgan in the clubhouse. Damian Priest, World Heavyweight Champion of Raw, comes in and is kind of the only person that's like, "What, Liv? What are you doing in our clubhouse? What the hell? Get out of here!" Basically, um, and that in itself creates a conversation had between Damian Priest and Finn Balor, former tag team partners. As Finn is like, "Listen, I'm your brother. I'm gonna keep it real with you all the time, and I'm always gonna have your back." Essentially, Liv helped us win these tag team titles. Liv is the reason that the World Tag Team Championships are back with the Judgment Day. So ultimately, Finn Balor is questioning why Damian Priest is so hostile towards Liv Morgan because obviously Liv Morgan did a nice favor for Finn Balor and JD McDonough. And that's just one chapter, one segment on this episode of Raw. The next thing that happened was Seth freaking Rollins cutting a promo, shortly being interrupted by Finn Balor, who then was kind of told by Damian Priest to stand back. Like Damian was like, "I got this match against Rollins at Money in the Bank, defending the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't really want you." Speaking of Finn Balor, I don't really want you interrupting this. I want to take care of this by myself and by myself alone. Really noble thing from Damian Priest here as he seems to be getting more and more babyface by the day. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, if Damian Priest is to lose the World Heavyweight Championship to Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank, Damian Priest will no longer be a part of the Judgment Day. Damian Priest and Seth freaking Rollins shook on that last week. So not only can Damian Priest lose his title this Saturday, but Damian Priest can also lose his spot in the Judgment Day. And as all of this is happening, Finn Balor and Damian Priest are slowly, while they are still on the same page and still allies, they are slowly and slowly come, gaining hostility with one another, is what I was trying to say. So, really interesting development here on Monday Night Raw to really stretch that Priest and Balor aren't exactly on the same page at the end of the day. And we will see what happens at Money in the Bank, if Priest will still be a part of Judgment Day, or if this is a precursor to what we're going to see in the coming weeks as Damian Priest's ass is on the line. Not only is his championship on the line, but his ass is on the line because he's going to lose his spot in his faction if he loses that championship match. Anyway, guys, let's move on. Very interesting stuff here. We had Zoe Stark win a triple threat to gain the last spot of the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Now, Dakota Kai was in this match, and I personally wanted to see Dakota Kai win this match. But nonetheless, I know Zoe Stark is a fantastic wrestler, and she goes ahead and gains this last spot in the Money in the Bank women's ladder match. We'll see if she's able to win. I don't know. I don't think Zoe Stark, and you never know with these ladder matches, I always have my predictions for who's going to win the Money in the Bank ladder matches every year, but I'm often quite wrong. But nonetheless, guys, Zoe Stark is going to be in this match as she takes the last spot. And this, what I'm about to talk about, is what I think was the match of the night, and that is Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. We have seen Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania 39 last year, and then in this year's WrestleMania, we saw Rey versus Dom in a tag team match of sorts. Here we get part three of that long running story, as Rey Mysterio picks up the victory against Dominic. And what's funny is while Dominic was out there during Liv Morgan's matches trying to make her lose the title, Liv Morgan comes out to Dominic's matches and tries to make him win. Nonetheless, he still loses. It's just ironic. When you want them to win, they lose. When you want them to lose, they win. Pretty fun stuff here, guys. It was really cool, in my opinion, as I think this was match of the night, to see how far Dirty Dominic Mysterio has come with his in-ring technique. I think about the first encounter between Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania 39, and then this match on Monday Night Raw, and I think Dominic Mysterio has just come such a long way. It was a fantastic match, really fun stuff, really underrated stuff here just on a random episode of Raw, but I'm really glad I tuned in and I'm really glad it happened. I Dude, I can't help but look at Dominic Mysterio like he has evolved really well over the past year and a half or so, 2 years even. Really good stuff here, guys. Ray versus Dom. Come on. Lyra Valkyria also went ahead and attacked Damage Control backstage, but she had some help. She actually had um what is it? Kaden Carter and Katana Chance help her out. And this will lead to a 6-woman tag team championship, 6-woman match. I'm sorry, with the tag team championship. Never mind. I'm just talking out of my ass, apparently. We will have 3 versus 3. We'll have Damage Control next week on Raw taking on Lyra Valkyria as well as Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. And they went ahead and set this up with a smidgen of a backstage brawl, which I think was really interesting. Not really anything of huge notice here, but here I am shouting it out. It was entertaining. What can I say? But then to close out the show, to close out a 3-hour Monday Night Raw, we had Drew McIntyre winning a triple threat to qualify in that last spot for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match this Saturday. This was a banger, man. Not only do Drew McIntyre and Sheamus always put on bangers, but then you make a triple threat and throw Ilya Dragunov into the mix. Come on, guys. That's a Monday Night Raw main event for the ages, as it was. It was on paper and it was in execution. And of course, Drew McIntyre gets the win here. And if he even gets close to winning that Money in the Bank ladder match, we all know CM Punk's ass is going to push him off the ladder, which will probably lead to a match between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk at SummerSlam. Nonetheless, man, Drew McIntyre finds himself in the Money in the Bank ladder match this Saturday. Very fun episode of Monday Night Raw. I hope you guys enjoyed what is something new I'm trying on the channel here, just these episode reviews. Nonetheless, guys, I should be reviewing AEW Dynamite this Wednesday, And then I want to shoot to review SmackDown as well. Those are the three shows I'm starting with. Comment below your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. And if there's a wrestling show out there that you guys want me to review in this fashion, go ahead and give it a comment. Leave it in the comments, I mean, and I'll go ahead and see if I can do so. I want to give you guys what you want. You guys are out here watching my videos and supporting what I do here. So tell me what you want in the comments and I'll make it happen for you. I'm here for you guys. Anyways, guys, that's a Monday Night Raw summary and analysis. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Have a good 4th of July and enjoy watching Money in the Bank this Saturday. I'll catch you guys sooner than later. Peace out.